Are people using AI to think better or to avoid thinking?
I think most of the times it is avoid thinking. Recently, I read an article from MIT which was talking that there is a lot of cognitive decline happening because of the excessive use of AI, and they're completely outsourcing their thinking to AI. Steve Jobs, when he was traveling to India, he said that he observed that a lot of people in India are making decisions based on gut or intuition rather than purely rely on intellect. And that's how he also started making a lot of intuition and gut based decision making. So, in that kind of scenario, the most important mindset and the skill is to have a learner's mindset, that even you are at the age of 60, 55, you're a CEO or a manager in any company, at any position, you must have that mindset and curiosity to learn new things and acquire and become master in. So
What's one thing that you'll never outsource to AI?
talking to, that's what eventually I would want to retain. Anybody can design polished decks, write perfect emails, and even design strategy frameworks. Yet, we are looking for very few truly thoughtful people who are still missing. Today, we are entering into a very strange era of leadership where there's abundance of intelligence. Anybody can design polished decks, write perfect emails, and even design strategy frameworks. Yet, we are looking for very few truly thoughtful people who are still missing. Today, everyone seems to be very smart and intelligent, and yet we are craving for something which is much more real, human, imperfect, and something which can evoke emotions within us. And that's the kind of leadership what we are looking in the era of AI today. And today I'm here to have a conversation, share some of my learnings of entrepreneurial journey, consulting career for last 10, 15 years, and also brainstorm around how is AI really amplifying our productivity at the same time taking away our originality and thinking. And to have this discussion, I'm also being joined by one of my colleague, Bhavna, and we will be having a very interesting conversation today. So, Bhavna, I'm really happy that you are able to join us today for this conversation and be part of my learning sharing as this podcast.
Thank you so much, Ishwaku. I'm really excited to be here because it's a very important topic that we would be discussing about. And in today's era where technology has surpassed so many arenas, and it's not just about technology, it's about life, it's about behavior, it's about health. AI is very important, and we call it the fourth industrial revolution. So that is important. This conversation definitely is important, and we need to know how we can harness it for our own potential and for our own betterment. Before starting the whole conversation, you have started your journey, and just tell me one thing: do you use AI?
That's a very interesting start of the conversation, I must say. So I think like my journey and relationship with AI has evolved over the last 1 year. So I started initially, I think, partially using AI somewhere last year, but at that moment I was very skeptical that we should not extensively use AI. That was something I'd instructed my team members also. And then over a period of time, slowly I started using for some part of my social media content and doing some research on the content piece, and that's how the relationship started evolving. But now I think like slowly we have started realizing the importance of AI in terms of productivity, and we are using it extensively for our content customization, even for social media content also at times, and also largely looking at various ways how we can integrate AI without taking away the originality of our programs and the core essence of our programs, because there are certain elements I think strongly which where humans have an edge and will continue to have an edge, so we leverage them while we leverage AI also for our productivity. So that's what it's an evolving journey. I don't know like where it will eventually take us, but right now I think it has really helped me to be more productive at workplace. And being an entrepreneur, most of the times it's a very, very solo journey. So you're doing a lot of things by yourself. And having this smart AI analyst has really helped me to manage these things much more efficiently and effectively. So I think that's what where I am at, and let's see how it goes.
Yes, I totally agree to that, Ishwaku, because even as a researcher and a consulting professional, I too feel the same that AI has changed the way we produce things, we analyze things. Definitely, there's a lot of deliberation on whether artificial intelligence can replace human intelligence, and I think that's why I'm really excited about this whole conversation today. That how how we unfold AI in this era, in this context of leadership, in the context of critical thinking, which is very important, and it is not objective; it is very subjective. So, how do you feel about it? Do you think that AI can replace critical thinking, or it can harness critical thinking?
Yeah, I think like critical thinking, today we are having this important conversation on critical thinking is because now for the first time I'm realizing, like, we have been in the consulting industry, you remember, for quite some time, but probably we never had this conversation with critical thinking at that point of time during the consulting career, because now AI has started exposing the missing piece of critical thinking. And we were talking earlier about the education system which is changing. So a lot of earlier education system did not lay enough emphasis on developing critical thinking. It was mostly, you will remember, monologues, like even during the engineering days, college days. So there was not enough emphasis to really build the element of critical thinking in terms of the education, and it somehow got missed. And even during our professional journey, most of the times we were doing a lot of analysis, a lot of things where what we were doing largely what we were being told, but it was rarely instance we were really questioning why are we doing this, what is the objective, how can we do those things better. So those entire frame was somewhat getting missed, and that's how the critical thinking was not very much there in the entire piece. But now AI has already started doing most of the work which we were doing earlier at a much faster rate. So now there is a need, how do we build something more valuable which AI cannot replace? And that's where the importance of critical thinking comes in. And I think critical thinking is definitely going to be very, very important and significant going forward. And definitely AI can also amplify if some part of the critical thinking, but we really need to have that muscle built in.
So, do you think AI helps us with critical thinking, or the kind of prompts or prompts that it generates, does it push critical thinking?
So yeah, that's a very interesting question you ask. And so which tool, just I'm out of curiosity, which tool do you use usually?
ChatGPT mostly, that is their perplexity at some point of time. But yeah, I think I'm more comfortable with ChatGPT.
Yeah. So even I use ChatGPT only mostly. So there are two pieces of elements. So critical thinking, and the first piece, like recently I read an article from MIT, which was talking that there is a lot of cognitive decline happening because of the excessive use of AI. That people are excessively using AI and they're completely outsourcing their thinking to AI. And that is really causing a decline in the cognitive abilities, and over a period of time it's going to accumulate. And if you remember, like earlier when the telephone has just come, we did not have those phones and everything, so we would even note down the numbers and even remember certain numbers. But now, since the information of Google and phone, nobody remembers anything. So similarly, if we just keep on outsourcing our thinking to AI, at certain point of time it might happen that we might not really feel challenged thinking through or working through a problem. So here the solution lies in, even if we are using AI, first attempt should always be made towards solving it by our own self. So if you are trying to attack a problem, maybe just solving it on a paper, Excel sheet or PowerPoint, and then if we take help of AI to challenge it, whatever we have solved, is it really going in right direction? What is the analysis which has we have missed? So that is really going to help us to build the muscle of critical thinking, and I think that's important for us and even for our kids also, because who will be very early exposed to AI. So we are almost quite late exposure to AI, but they will be starting using AI in the very early stages. So there is an important need to continue to solve problems by our own self first hand before we start relying on AI. And then second piece, how we can really build is, so there I have a more interesting way of building critical thinking, I think, is from the, and you also have a PhD, so developing a scientific bent of mind. So if we really start questioning things like so Einstein, who at one point of time questioned that space and time are not constant, and that is what really led him to the discovery of theory of relativity. So if we start adopting certain piece of scientific bent of mind in our own approach of problem solving, dealing with AI, challenging the assumptions of AI, what are solutions it is giving. So that will also really help us to build the muscle of critical thinking. And as we start questioning the status quo, the assumptions which exist within the AI driven solutions, and also solve problems by our own self, will really help us to build this muscle of critical thinking and at least not decay to an extent. So that's what I think, how we can protect our own thinking while leveraging AI to our advantage.
So I think two very important points that I will take back from this conversation is, first, that we need to ensure that we do not have a brain rot. We need to
absolutely.
use our brains first and keep on going, and then use AI as an assistant to get things done or get more information done. The second thing, which is very important, is that never let the curiosity die in you. This is very important.
Absolutely.
As a professional, I think this is very important takeaway, and that's why I was looking forward to this conversation, because we all need to be prepared for the future.
No, and curiosity is something very important, but we have not really let it grow. Like basically, even my daughter, when I have the conversation while I'm dropping her to school, she would ask me so many questions because she's always curious about science, why this is happening, what is this happening. So I can see that natural curious mind. So that probably the similar mindset we can adopt in our own professional workspace, so that we can find better solutions and design better ideas.
One of the things about critical thinking or while decision making is that we rely on is our intuition, and also that gut feeling.
Yeah.
So what is your say about it in the era of AI? Where do you see intuition or that gut feeling?
No, so that's a very I would say I have a very personal point of view on that, and but I will start with the more scientific theories around it. So, have you read that book called Thinking Fast and Slow?
No.
No. So it was by one of the leading professor, Daniel Kahneman, and he's done a phenomenal work in the behavioral decision-making sciences. And he says that how we make decisions are classified into two ways largely: system 1 and system 2. So system 1 is more intuition-driven, fast decision-making, which happens in the split of a second. And on the other side, we have a system 2, which is very methodical, analysis driven, facts driven. So basically, largely, you would do a much deeper analysis before you make a decision. That's how largely business makes decisions. So that's what the traditional. And interestingly, I personally see that a lot of the system to decision making is being taken over by AI, because AI is running the similar method of analysis, data research, and it's largely taking away some part of our system to thinking, or even assisting our system to thinking, like by bringing more data and insights. So that's what is happening. So now comes coming to the system one or the intuition driven thinking. So intuition is largely a experiential based decision making, because everyone, you may have some different set of experiences, I have some different, so our gut will have different kind of responses in a different situation. And here a lot of business leaders, I think, rely on gut based decision making. Even Steve Jobs, when he was traveling to India, he said that he observed that a lot of people in India are making decisions based on gut or intuition rather than purely rely on intellect. And that's how he also started making a lot of intuition and gut based decision making. And he has even mentioned it multiple times that that is how it really helped him to design some of the innovative products, because he was able to have those intuitions. And it was not that he was doing all that market research and fact that there should be an iPod or iPhone in the market or not. So it was his gut and intuition telling him to design those products, and that really helped him to succeed. So I see that a lot of creative experiences and thinking can come from intuition. So while system 2 thinking can do the analysis, but the creative piece will come from intuition. And based on my personal experience also, when I was starting my entrepreneurial journey, so I think it was my gut or intuition telling me to do that. Otherwise, coming into a different profession altogether, all of a sudden, no data or analysis may really help you to prove it otherwise. So it was the gut only, I realized. And over a period of time, a lot of intuitive insights for developing our products like Champion Mindset and others. So they have not come from any market analysis or research or system 2 thinking. It was pure gut intuition telling me to do something and then start working in that direction. So I see that intuitive based decision making, intuition, is going to play a significant role for leaders in the era of AI, because that's what is going to bring a lot of creativity. And that's what we are looking at.
No, I totally agree to it. And now, when I go back and think over it, it does make so much of sense, because a lot of companies would be using the same tools. So where would the originality come from? I think you kind of have a correct response to it. So
and that's what I think, like intuition. But yeah, definitely listening to the intuition and really being able to identify the signals, how the intuition communicates, is also not so easy. And that's where very few leaders are able to tap into that. So basically, I think it's another science to really tap into the intuitive intelligence. And very few leaders are able to tap, and that's where they really bring more creativity to the workplace.
So, in the AI driven arena and this world, which professions do you think would do well? And they have a lot of scope of flourishing?
So, are you talking about professionals or professions?
Professionals.
Oh, professionals. The misfits, the originals, the creative thinkers, I think they will be the ones who will be totally standing out. Because if we look at AI, it's like a rear view mirror. So it can only produce what has already been achieved or thought through somewhere by the mankind. And that's what it builds upon, those theory based on the algorithm. So largely it's just creating something out of what is part of its existing data set. But people who have had very varied experiences, who can go on the edges, and they can bring a perspective which is not existing anywhere in the data set, will really have an edge. And talking to you, I'm reminded of one character. So have you read this book called Fountainhead?
Yes.
So you might remember the main lead character, the Howard Rourke.
Yes.
So I think like that kind of character will have a huge edge, being an original in terms of his own thinking and bringing that originality to the work he is doing or she is doing. And that piece of thinking will really spark a lot of interest of everyone in the world of AI. And I think that kind of professionals, maybe sometimes they are even freelancers, but they are able to bring such a different perspective which does not exist anywhere, and protect the entire essence and soul of that particular industry. So recently I also watched this movie, Devil Mates Prada.
No, I haven't seen it, but
So in that movie also, again, it was something that in the media houses, technology is taking over. There's a possibility AI may take over designers, models, everything. And then there is a lead character who's trying to protect the entire industry through originality and the vision. And eventually it succeeds, but that's a movie. But that is, I think, those kind of individuals have a very immense value because they will bring a very original and different perspective to the work they are doing, and they will be able to create something which AI cannot easily replicate, because their thought process is not something which is done by an algorithm or a data set, and they have a huge edge. So that's what these are the professionals, I think, who will thrive, who will be in excessively demand. But there are certain professionals who will do well, are people who have deep expertise in particular industries. So maybe if you're working in a particular pharma domain and you possess very deep expertise in pharma, you can understand the sector nuances much better than anybody. So you will have an edge over AI, because AI may be able to run the analysis, but it can still not go so deep to understand the real time inferences. So there you have an edge. And then people who have had very varied experiences across sectors but can connect patterns within different industries. So these are some of the individuals I think will have an edge in the long run. But overall, people who can think original, bring more creativity and perspective which is totally not existing anywhere in the world, and not even on the AI platforms. And then people who have built some of the deep expertise across functions or industries will really have an edge.
So that's actually very interesting because we generally think that the AI tool can, give us more ideas, but it is not so. Human intelligence is not just intelligence, it's about experience, it's about intuition, it's an amalgamation of so many things. And I think that's a very important thing that you've said. I have a friend who's working with a
Yeah.
software company, and she said, that even the AI is biased. So I think what you have said here is very important, that even the biasness of the algorithm or the AI can be checked with human supervision. That's very nice. And it's very reassuring because a lot of us do have that insecurity that AI will take over our jobs. So
No, but like nobody can predict what the future. I mean, like I have a question mark, like whether AI can also bring that level of original thinking. But at this point of time, regarding your biases, so AI is just not but a larger replica set of humans only. So it is built upon our own thought process, and the biases what we are carrying are getting transposed to AI also. And now we are mutually learning from each other. So that is the kind of relationship we have built with AI. But at this point of time, I think like the original ideas and some of the things which can be totally out of the box, I haven't seen coming. Like even I keep on brainstorming so much with AI, so it definitely gives a lot of good ideas because it is able to synthesize the information from so many viewpoints which any individual may do. But I would say out of the box ideas for my content, for even the naming of the training program, something largely comes from my own thinking
okay.
or brainstorming with others.
So, Ishwaku, in today's era when AI is predominant in any conversation, what do you think it is like thinking like in CXO?
And that's a quite a deep question, I must say. So I think like thinking like a CXO in today's world, and today now we are living in such an uncertain kind of environment. Also, every time something new is happening, so that is something like somebody who can have a long-term vision and have the ability to execute it in short term. So I call it marathon vision and sprint execution. So that is the real ability if somebody can have, where you have that 3 to 5 year long-term horizon, like this is somewhere you want the organization or your team to be, and you have that ability to create it into smaller milestones and execute them flawlessly to achieve that vision. So that's more important because today lot of execution, lot of analysis can also happen with AI. Like it's already started happening. So in that sense, like what remains largely the role of leader or a CXO is to really craft that vision. Like where do we want to go? Because AI may still tell us, but eventually it's the call of the leader that this is our vision where we want the organization to be there in next 5 years. In next 5 years, so that's where the role of leaders come into be. And if we look at the example of Microsoft in 2014 when Satya Nadella joined Microsoft, at that moment it was not one of the leading organizations in the tech space. Like it was there, but it was not. A lot of other organizations had taken over, but now with his vision to focus on cloud AI, Microsoft is again back into the game and it's among the top players in the space of even AI and has become a leader in the tech space again. So that's what I think he had a vision and he had that ability and courage to persuade the entire organization to work in that direction. And now we see that his vision has been able to bring those results of which organization is benefiting currently. So I think that's what thinking like a CXO, having that long-term vision and then ability to execute and align everyone to achieve that vision.
That's very interesting because it just sounds like a champion. So you've done so much work around champion mindset and leadership. So tell us about something about it, and also in the era of AI, how can champion mindset shape or change or harness or flourish?
I think champion mindset is far more relevant even in the era of AI today. And why I say so, but before that, let me explain what a champion mindset looks like, just for the sake of audience. So, champion mindset is always about someone who is trying to better who is trying to better themselves in whatever they are pursuing, and it could be related to any profession. It's not related only to business, sports, media, any field. So a champion mindset could be for anybody who's just trying to better themselves every single day and work in the direction so that they can continue to become excellent in whatever pursuits they are doing. And that's what largely represents the mindset of a champion. And having studied a lot of champions from sports and business, that's what I'm distilling as a crystal piece of information. But now coming why it's more important, I think there are 3 or 4 reasons I must say why champion mindset is becoming much more important. Number one, today we are living in a world where AI models are evolving very rapidly. So they are learning very rapidly. They are evolving much faster. In fact, I was listening to one of the podcasts of this Anthropic CEO, and he was saying that now they have a model which is up to the professional capabilities of software, and they're working in the direction which may have a PhD level professional capability also. So AI is evolving at a very rapid pace. So on the other side, as a professional, we also need to constantly develop ourselves and build ourselves and acquire learner's mindset, even be it learning AI or any skill which you think is more valuable. So you need to constantly keep learning and acquiring new skills to stay relevant, because the world and the future, what we see, is going to be very agile. So in that kind of scenario, the most important mindset and the skill is to have a learner's mindset, that even you are at the age of 60, 55, you're a CEO or a manager in any company, at any position, you must have that mindset and curiosity to learn new things and acquire and become master in. So that's what the first importance essence, and that has been the primary learning from my entrepreneurial journey also. So I'm not sure, so when I started on this journey of creating videos, so for the first video, even my daughter would say, okay, you need to really smile more or do something. So over a period of time, now I'm doing so many long duration podcasts also. So it has been a learning journey to learn and understand the nuances of this kind of work, video editing, video work, and how do we create podcasts. And I've attended even some of the courses on how to do podcasts. So just to acquire more and more learning from some of the seasoned professionals. So that's what. And now, as we are developing a course and module around AI, that how professionals can leverage AI and amplify their productivity using AI. So I am even learning Python engineering, and various other elements of AI models, so that I can really develop something which is much more valuable. So having that learner's mindset is the most crucial element. And secondly, today we also are living in a world where we may face a lot of setbacks, and this is an important skill for everyone, which I see is the resilience. Like, how do we bounce back from those difficult circumstances, challenges which life throws at us? And that's what the champion mindset also really helps us to build. And in fact, like, even for the kids also, the resilience piece I see, I'm not sure, today's kids, they don't want to take up challenges and they are shying away, and that's one of the important skill, I think, which will really determine kids who will do well in life, is also their resilience muscle. So that's where the resilience is more important. And then lastly, coming to the last point of champion mindset, is about that having the drive and execution, because eventually at one point of time you really need to have some motivation or goal to achieve that goal, whatever you want to achieve, because there will be things you may need to be doing which is on an everyday basis consistently, and that may sound boring. So most of the work of champion which happens behind the scene is always boring, and how do you keep on doing consistently with that flawless execution will really determine your achievement. And that's what champion is, like somebody whom everyone looks up to in their profession. So like if you are in a profession of consulting or professor of being a researcher, so like who is a champion researcher, like who's somebody, and what are they doing really, what kind of research they are doing which is really creating a lot of impact. So that's what a champion mindset in any field looks like. So it's all about having that drive, learner's mindset, and also building that resilience to bounce back from circumstances, and then finally drive to execute it towards achieving that final goal. So I think that's what sums up the champion's mindset.
Thank you, Ikshwaku. It's actually very interesting and very helpful, because I think all of us want to become a champion. We keep on telling our kids also.
So what do you think will be a starting point for you, Bhavna? Like I was just like,
Yeah.
which thing, if you have to work among the three things which I want describe, if you have to start somewhere for your own champion's journey, what would be the starting point?
I think the starting point is what you said. Like, the curiosity to learn. Never stop learning, I think. And always think that you are young, so that, and you have there's miles to go. I think that was Robert Frost who said there's miles to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely that. Resilience is very important. There will be backlogs, or there will be downfalls, but a champion has to. That's what makes a champion different from somebody else. That yes, I have to come back. No matter what, every day brings a new possibility. So definitely, I will actually keep. I have a diary, and I'm going to write these three things, because sometimes we also feel things are not working out our way. But I think you've like summed it up in a very simple manner, which is very important. Sometimes things are very simple and we don't understand it. So coming back to AI and champion mindset, so how do you think, do you feel that champions need to adapt to AI to get better results, or how can professional build a champion mindset while using AI?
I think like that's an interesting question. So what I would say is that how really when people are using AI, they still continue to develop their own mindset as champions mindset, and for that largely what I was talking earlier also here, the somebody who is really trying to retain or build the champion mindset would not overly or rely on AI, or would be a first go-to person for just solving the problem. So even if you have to suppose write a 3-page article, so if somebody who wants to really build their champion mindset would take the first stab by themselves and write the first whatever that kind of draft comes out to be by themselves, and then maybe ask AI how can I better it just for grammatical mistakes or for anything whatever it seems to be missing, so that the final product comes out to be much better. But definitely taking the harder path cognitively is the path of champion. So if like you have to take two options, and one is easy, one is difficult, so the difficult path is the champion's journey, and that's how you build a champion within yourself, because you really push yourself to better yourself, because AI is evolving anyways. As a champion, you have to protect and evolve yourself. And to make that happen, you have to push yourself and challenge yourself to the limit. So that's one thing. And second thing is also whatever profession you are in, like AI has a lot of role in analysis, writing, research, a lot of things are happening. But there are certain skills within your profession one has to identify which where humans will have an edge. So maybe like if it is consulting or software development, critical thinking plays an important role. You can become much more critical thinker. And if we are talking about a profession which is more media driven, so there even writing can happen a lot by AI, but even storytelling, what kind of narrative to be built for the audiences will largely be driven by human judgment. So build on those skills which complement very well with the AI skills, so that the final product comes out to be great, and you kind of become master in those skills where humans continue to have an edge in your profession. So the starting point for any professional will be to identify, okay, these are 2 or 3 skills where humans will have an edge over a period of time in the space of AI. And then let me build on those skills while I continue to learn and master AI tools, agents, whatever you're doing. So that journey is separate, but you protect your own space and become a master in that, so that at least you have an edge over other professionals while leveraging AI.
Okay. So the temptation of immediate gratification and immediate results should be avoided, and you need to think of how. I mean, like just the conversation that we just had right now. So it get me thinking that we have this temptation of immediate gratification, and so that should be avoided. And the champion mindset has to do deep thinking and bring in that edge, bring in those, bring in the professional, expertise, experience that needs to be there.
Yeah, because the champion's journey is just becoming the master of your own field, and it's not always even for a competitor. Like champion's journey is you're trying to better yourself for the sake of excellence, because you want to break your own record of performance, and that's what the inner drive and growth comes out to be. So you constantly just want to break your own performance barriers and be the best version of yourself, and that's what the entire conversation we are having is, that how do we continue to better ourselves as a professional, so that we can be successful in our chosen field of professions.
So AI, when we come back to AI, do you think it will reward people who are faster or who think deeper?
So what do you think? Like, now let me just hear back from you before
So again, it is about a question of immediate gratification or rewards. So I think again that depends on the kind of task you want the AI to do. And for something which is long term, again, that you would require a different mindset. You would require to go back to your gut feeling or your instincts, and I think it's very important to balance it out. True. And just have you draw the line where AI can influence you or help you, and where you need to gear up and take the decisions.
No, I think Bhavna, you also provided different and interesting perspective for this conversation. Yeah, so like definitely AI is already acting so fast. So faster is a commodity today. Like everyone is seeking like within 5 minutes, give me the solution. So that's not going to be one value. So like if tomorrow I ask three people to bring a solution within 5 minutes, most of them will kind of bring something similar, or like if they use the AI prompts. But if somebody who maybe does not even rely on AI, or is able to do 5 minutes of deep thinking and comes up with one big idea, might have much more value in the conversation. So I think like the depth is going to be a much more of immense value, and that's why people who are having much more experiences are gaining edge in today's world, because they have that experience which can really help them to connect the dots, see the patterns, and become much more valuable in the space of AI, because their experience cannot be easily decoded by AI. Like it can generically it can do, but the specific experience is very difficult to decode, and that's why the people who have those deep expertise, and which I talked about earlier also, will have immense value. But you brought an interesting perspective. But maybe for certain times, speed is good. Like I don't care. Like you and
Being in
from
consulting,
yeah,
especially.
being in consulting, like if client is on your head for 15 minutes, give me this thing,
Yes.
and they're like taking the smart route doesn't hurt. Like if it is
Yeah.
not, but if you are working on something more important where you have to really bring a lot of more value, and there are more stakeholders involved, and you have time, at least a day at hand, then you may want to do some more deep work which can impress the clients or your stakeholders. But yeah, I think it's and in the consulting space,
Speed
most
is
of the time
time.
like the client is always five,
Yes.
and with the AI they will also expect within 20 minutes give
Firefighting.
us. Yeah, so I think it's a balanced path one can take, but yeah, the recognized value and what people will really make find value will always be coming from depth and detailing.
So, Ishwaku, we've talked about champion mindset, and you've given us such details and insight of champion mindset and how it will evolve during in this era of AI. We come to another important part of champion mindset, that is leadership.
Absolutely.
So, how do you think that AI has impacted leadership, or how do you see leadership evolving in the era of AI?
I think leadership is not more about processing information. It's more about making decisions even when you don't have the data. So, the role of AI is slightly changing the dynamics of leadership, and it's partially due to AI and partially due to what is happening in the world. And you might also remember, like, since the onset of COVID, the things have been always in flux. Like then some war happening, then tariffs, and now another war in the Middle East. So the economy and the business has not always seen that level of certainty which they used to have earlier. And today leadership is largely evolving in the direction that how do you act in uncertainty. So maybe now the thing is like we have to live with that kind of entrepreneurial mindset in the leadership, that you keep on making decisions and deciding a course of action even when there is uncertainty. You don't know what path will be the right path 6 months, 1 year, 2 years down the line, but you identify a course of action, and then you keep on working in that direction while you are evolving also. At times you're learning from how the things are shaping up, and you keep evolving in that direction, and that's what the thing is. And secondly also, now it's becoming more and more important for leaders to really listen, assimilate feedback from their team members, from experts, from even AI, and then create a point of view of their own and then move in that direction. Because we are living in a world where nobody may have that perfect data or perfect set to really say that okay, now let's move forward in that direction. So you really have to listen to various viewpoints and then formulate your opinion, and then move ahead in that direction and eventually own the outcomes. Like at the end of the day, leaders are held responsible. Nobody's going to hold AI accountable for something going wrong. So you have to take accountability for the outcomes and own it up. That's what I think the leadership looks like today.
Oh, that's very interesting, and in fact, you kind of answered my second question that I had about AI. If if AI can synthesize data very fast and quickly, so what implications does it have for leadership? So I think you've just responded to the question, and definitely. Accountability is a very important aspect in leadership, and that cannot be negated. And you have touched upon that also.
But one thing I would like to add here was also the judgment. Like, even AI may give us the perfect analysis, perfect data, but it is the role of the leader to really bring that final judgment, like, because that perspective, and that's what I was talking about, the cumulative feedback from various members to build that judgment, to make that call that whether we can move ahead in that direction or not. So there was an organization called Zillow, which is in the US real estate company, and in 2021 they had built some algorithm for buying and selling houses, and that algorithm started giving them some attractive prices for buying houses, and that built up a huge massive inventory, and eventually they had to suffer loss of $500 million and lay off 25% of the workforce, because there was nobody who was human in the loop, who was taking that call. Okay, whatever AI is suggesting may be missing the market trends, maybe missing the understanding of the customer. So the whole perspective got missed. So we cannot totally over rely on the AI driven perfect analysis. And when you're making such larger financial decisions, so there needs to be a good enough amount of human judgment happening, and point of view of the leaders and experts coming in, so that whatever AI analysis has suggested, you are kind of complementing it with your experience and the understanding of the market. And that's what the role of leader largely builds upon, that how do you build that judgment and not over rely on the AI driven data and insights.
Okay, so now taking this forward.
Yeah.
So, what do you think has made easier by AI, and what is it hard for leaders?
Difficult question, I must say, but to my perspective, I think earning the trust has become much more harder today, because even everything, like, even if something is good, like somebody, even something is original, people will say, oh, it's chat GPT driven, chat GPT से लिखा होगा या chat GPT से करा है. So in today's world, like, earning the trust of professionals, of your clients and customers at this point of time is not so easy, because there is so much of gray area. And even recently I keep on talking to other members, also other people, and everyone, even if somebody gives a good idea in marketing, they would say, is it chat GPT driven or your own idea? And even sometimes I question and challenge my team members also, like, how much of the chat GPT have you used or AI you have used while doing the original research. So, like, the element of trust is slightly not there, and maybe over a period of time, as a part of process, I think maybe we will have to see in professions like consulting or other professions, where you really have to acknowledge the piece of research and the credits you have to give. So you may have to tell, like, what was the piece of research coming from chat GPT or AI as an acknowledgement, and you will have to be transparent about how much of AI is being used or not used, to really build that level of trust even in your original work. So I think that's important. And second element of trust is also about the conversations which are happening professionally or personally. So even if you're having a conversation with your team member, a difficult conversation, so how it lands well will largely depend on the trust. So there's already a deficit of trust for leaders, and even how do we bring that element of trust for our clients and team members is important. So I think some part of it is more human driven, where how do leaders bring more trust within their team members. And then second part is more process driven, that if at one point we take a call, okay, if we are using AI, then let's be honest and transparent about it. This is what we have done using AI, and we can do it consistently. Then maybe people start recognizing, okay, this is AI driven, this is non AI driven, and then you build again that level of trust and within your concerned stakeholders. So I think that's something is getting more difficult, because people are getting more, and you will also see on social media one says that, oh, every post is looking similar, so
Yes.
maybe everything is AI driven. And even if somebody is not using AI, is also being held to such perspective.
I actually never thought about it, but this question actually is important because the work that we do, it can be questioned a lot basis on the fact that we have done, whether it is original or it is copied from some, some place, or we've not used our brains enough.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Like everyone is being looked from that view of skepticism, or is it original or not, and then how do organizations and individuals are able to build that level of trust, that they people recognize either they are doing the piece of thinking which is very original, and they stand for it, or maybe even if they are using AI, they're acknowledging transparently that this much is going as part of the research of AI, and this is what is being done. And that may, having that transparency, I think, will bring much more trust, though that may create implications in terms of how much the human effort has gone or not gone, and financial projections or other things may vary. But I think being more transparent around the usage of AI will build the trust. Like that's what seems to be missing at this point of time.
So, Ishwaku, we talked about leaders in the organization, but now I want to talk about something which is about us, which is like the humans in the organization. All of us are working in the organization, and anything about AI does have an impact on us. So, will the future belong to people who work harder or people who learn faster in an organization?
So I think it's a combination of both, because I would not discount the value of hard work, but definitely only hard work will not get you further if you're not learning the new things, if you're not learning the new tools, technology, whatever is the need of the hour. So you need to complement it both. Like, and when I'm talking about learning, I'm not talking about doing a certification or a course. I mean to say apply that learning, like basically more of a applied learning, and creating feedback loops into your way of working, so that you can constantly see what seems to be working or not working for you. So integrate that piece of learning into your work, and then keep on working harder and keep on getting better with that learning loops and feedback mechanism, so that eventually you can continue to grow as a professional. That's the need of the hour. So you definitely need to work hard and combine it with a constant learning mindset, applied learning, so that whatever you're delivering, you can deliver better. And that's what organizations are looking at today.
Okay, so it's not just about using AI, but how we empower ourselves with AI.
Absolutely.
So what separates an AI empowered company from a company that's just using AI? Is there any difference?
Yeah, there's a lot of difference. So basically, let me just give a simple analogy. So the AI empowered company is like a car, while the company which is simply using AI is like a horse carriage powered with the engine. So basically, you're just trying to work with an old model and using AI. So if we look at the AI powered company, and that's coming from the research from the Boston Consulting Group, it has three elements to it. The first element is the training of the workforce and the augmenting of the workforce, that they are very pro in using AI. Second is the processes, like you have automated processes and created better processes which are more empowered by AI. And then the last one is the AI driven business models. So a company which is able to integrate all these three steps together uh, becomes a AI powered company. But most of the companies are currently at the stage of augmenting their workforce and building the workforce which is more AI ready, which is like the step one towards building the final step. But very few organizations have invested in that direction where they have reinvented the entire business model. So it's like you have kind of flipped the entire floorboard altogether. So those organizations are able to do that, and they have become more AI powered companies where the entire business model is being driven by AI, and that looks a total reframing of the human role also. Because if AI is doing a lot of already that kind of stuff, maybe we don't need those meetings, maybe we don't need those kind of metrics. That is already being done by AI. What roles will human play in that kind of organization gets more specific, and then we align in that direction. So I think that approach or transformation takes a more holistic view and more difficult view also for organizations to adopt. But at this point of time, most of the organizations are starting with training their workforce and then slowly moving towards the integrating processes. And maybe certain organizations will go where they will totally reinvent the business model as per the need of AI.
So reinventing would also include delegation and execution by AI. Is that possible?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So some of the organizations, even in consulting, are also using AI agents as part of their team members. So a lot of work is being done by AI agents in terms of research and analysis. So that's already happening as part of the workforce. So it's not that it's not happening. It's already started happening, and so many chatbots are being done by AI. So that's part of the organizational structure now.
So now that AI has been integrated into the company, and a lot of work is being done by AI, so do leaders need to rethink what is the definition of productivity when it comes to AI or AI being there in the company? So
Yeah, I think the definition of productivity is changing a lot. So now it's not about 40, 50, 60 hours of work week. I think more and more people will be talking about the outcomes you can achieve. So if you have a sales target or a marketing target to achieve, so you have a particular revenue target to achieve, and if you can use AI and you can achieve it in 20 hours, then good for you. Like basically you can save your own time.
So I think would leaders need to use their own discretion in defining what productivity would be as per the job that is required to be done, or they should not think about it and they should just have a one size fit all approach in defining productivity?
Actually, that will also depend on the nature of the organization and the kind of work they're doing. So, for an organization like manufacturing, so there currently also it's like 40 to 50 hours of shift you have to be there. You have to be part of the entire manufacturing process, whatever role you are playing, and you have to be physically present to deliver that. So there, even if certain tasks are automated, your physical presence will not be significantly changing. So their productivity will be measured in terms of the number of cars being manufactured every hour, every minute. So that will be determined. But for you, number of hours may or may not change significantly. It may not change. However, the productivity of the company may improve. But for a lot of other organizations, the outcomes could be more achieving more sales or achieving better outcomes with lesser amount of employees. So there it may happen even if people are working 30, 40 hours, but there are lesser number of people working and achieving the same outcomes or more outcomes. So the need to hire more or retain more employees may not be a very tempting idea for organizations. In most of the professions I see going forward, they would want to retain the few members, and that's what who can bring more value and achieve the similar outcomes.
Yes, I mean, all of us do feel threatened, and there have been layoffs happening, and
Yeah,
that's
I
why
can.
I feel this section is very important. Ishwaku, so tell me, what does the team composition looks like in the future scenario?
So that's a very good question, I must say. And to me, it looks like the team size is going to get very smaller, very lean teams. And I would say them micro teams. The future looks like micro teams where maybe there are 3 or 4 team members who are delivering the outcome of 40, 30 team members equivalent. And it's going to be the ultimate dance of human plus AI interface all together working. But the interesting part I see is all these 3 or 4 individuals are very cognitively diverse. So, because the value will come, a lot of the research, analytical work is already being done by AI or AI agents, so they will do that piece. But all the human elements who will come together, so somebody could be a very good writer, somebody could be a software programmer, somebody could be an analytical researcher. So those are the diverse professionals who will come and who will be sort of extraordinary in their own set of field, and then all together they will work together towards that common goal which organization has, adding their own immense set of value which will be further complemented with AI, and that's how they achieve the final outcome. So even if you look at movie making like Durandar movie, which was very popular today, so there might have been so many elements which have gone into making such a successful movie, but in the future maybe a lot of editing or writing piece, script writing may be taken over by AI, but there will be certain pieces which will continue to be human led, and they will need to be the masters in that field. So that's how the entire screenplay or the narrative will happen. In that's just an example of one industry, but every profession will identify the ways where AI can do their job, and then what roles humans need to retain, and who are the people who can bring the most value in those particular domain. So that's what the display of a team composition looks like, and the role of the leader will be to bring everyone together, keep them together, because there are going to be so many diverse people, and then with the component of AI coming in, so how do we bring them together and keep them focused on that common goal? Okay, this is the goal for our team or organization to achieve, and then this is something what we can achieve together. So initially in the Amazon there used to be like the team size should be like a 2 size of pizza, like everyone
Okay.
can have 2 pizza together. So now I think the smaller pizza is good enough for the team. So that will the team composition, so 4 members who can have a small pizza together, and they can achieve great
So
results
that means
together.
companies would be dieting.
Yeah, so the budgets of
Yeah.
the these will go down. And in fact, like interestingly, now there's a concept, a lot of people are talking about unicorn businesses, single person company. So one person itself can do a lot of most of the work is being done by AI, and then there's 1 or 2 people who are just running the entire company, and they've built the business model. So those kind of models are also coming. So we don't know, but that seems to be very clear that the team size is going to be getting more leaner and leaner. So there's not going to be any fat around team
So,
size.
I mean, will it be safe to say that humans need to harness their skills and be specialists?
Miss, yeah, that's a special, I would say more deeper expertise. Being a specialist also sometimes put you at a risk. So if you are a specialist in one particular area, but that entire field is being taken over by AI, then so
Yes.
you really have to, I think you have to keep a tab on what's happening around in your profession, and how is AI interacting or not interacting in your, impacting your profession or not profession, and then accordingly constantly devise your strategy so that you can continue to stay relevant and safe in your job or in your profession, because nobody has a clear answer where it may go, or eventually it may land, like what professions it may or may not impact.
So, Ishwaku, we've had such a nice conversation around AI and how organizations are changing and what the future looks like, even though it cannot be predicted. But now I have something very interesting for you. It's the rapid fire, and now I'm going to test your gut feeling, your instincts, and I have some questions, and I don't want more than 2-3 words. So tell me first thing. Uh, it's all hypothetical. So
Sure. No, go ahead. I'm curious, but
Okay.
I'm excited.
Okay, so if AI says fire a team member, your instinct says don't, what will you do?
So I will follow my gut, not fire them.
Okay, so be honest. Are people using AI to think better or to avoid thinking?
I think most of the times it is avoid thinking. We don't want to just put our cognitive overload.
If Chat GPT gives you the perfect answer, does that make you smarter or just faster?
I think it's both.
What's more dangerous today, a bad decision or blindly following AI?
Blindly following AI.
Okay, would you trust AI with your business decisions and not your team?
I would say it's a combination of both. Because sometimes the market insights AI also brings is good.
Are we training AI or is AI shaping our thinking?
We are training each other together.
What's one thing that you'll never outsource to AI?
Talking to clients and team members. So I think we had a very interesting conversation today on AI where we explored the various facets of critical thinking and why critical thinking is relevant in today's workforce more and more. How can we really build critical thinking, and how do we build a champion mindset which is more relevant in the era of AI, not only to protect our jobs or our professions, but also so that we can continue to grow in our professions. And then we explored what the elements of leadership will get impacted with AI, without AI, and how the future of organizations, teams look like, what a future professional would really take to succeed in today's environment. Though nobody has the perfect answer available for you, and even AI cannot give the perfect answer. These are some of the deliberations we had from today's podcast, and thanks for tuning in to today's podcast, and we look forward to receiving your comments and suggestions for the same. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ishwaku, for having me here and being a part of this important conversation around AI. As a professional, we do feel stressed, intrigued, and uncertain about how AI is and what the future holds for us. And somewhere or the other, it has helped me decode so many important things that I would take and help to build up a champion mindset and implement in my professional journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhavna, for your time, and thank you for joining
pleasure.
today. So it was great conversation, and thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you.